Hi, welcome to our presentation. Today we're going to be talking about the Complex Adaptive Systems Lab, or the CAS Lab at Western. So today this presentation is going to be put together by myself. I'm Paige, as well as Finn, Jonathan, and Peter, who was unfortunately not able to make it. And our project is supervised by our community partner, James Shelley from the CAS Lab. So I'm going to briefly go over what complex adaptive systems are, first of all, just to get a better idea. So the four fundamental characteristics of complex adaptive systems are numerosity, meaning that they have many parts; nonlinearity, meaning that the interactions between them are complex, such as that the addition or the sum of two parts of the system do not equal their linear sum, but rather have some sort of further effect. Connectivity, as there are many interconnections between the different parts of our systems, and autonomy and adaptation, in which each of the different parts of the system are able to adapt on their own and have a sense of autonomy, but still function together. So in summary, complex adaptive systems are more than their individual parts. Through hierarchy and synergy, they can accomplish much, much more. So we see an example of complex adaptive systems in organisms, for example, as we start off with at the cellular level, cells that can function individually, but then are able to form organs and carry out functions that are much greater than they could as individual cells. And then furthermore, these organs come together to form an entire organism that can accomplish even more past that point. Similarly, societies can be seen as a complex adaptive system made up of individuals who form groups and then form society as a whole. So that's just an overview of complex adaptive systems.
Okay, so now that we've learned a bit about complex adaptive systems, I'm going to give a brief background about the CAS Lab. So the CAS Lab is a grassroots research initiative here at Western that serves as kind of a network hub for anyone who's studying or interested in complex adaptive systems. And this includes researchers, staff, students, and collaborators across almost every faculty and department at the university. And so far, over 90 faculty members have joined the lab, and this number is still growing, which is really exciting. And as a whole, the CAS Lab has four main objectives. The first objective is interdisciplinary research. And the lab's main goal here is really to provide an interdisciplinary and collaborative environment for complex adaptive systems research, where researchers from different backgrounds can all come together and explore common interests. And the second objective is capacity building. And this really involves developing complexity-informed thinking through training, education, and professional development. And the third objective is knowledge exchange. And this means kind of sharing complex adaptive systems research conducted at Western with other universities and institutions, as well as synthesizing any external research for interested lab members. And then the fourth and final objective here is application and collaboration. And this really involves collaborating with community and institutional partners, and then applying complexity-informed research to real-world problems.
So from there, I'm going to go over what our goal is in collaboration with the CAS Lab at Western, which is to employ Kumu mapping to foster interdisciplinary research among the lab's members. So Kumu is a platform which enables the creation of relationship maps derived from complex data, such as the one that you can see on the bottom of the screen here. So we're aiming to put together a visual representation of the different faculty members that have an affiliation with the CAS Lab based off of their interest in research topics and the tags that we are assigning them with. And Finn's going to be going over the concept of these tags in just a moment. So the idea is that these points of overlap and the synergies with other lab members will be identified more efficiently, so that the lab members are able to work together on collaborative research initiatives and just improve the cutting edge research that we see at Western.
Yeah, so like Paige said, to facilitate this cutting edge research, we've been doing a process called tagging, and I'm just going to walk you through how that works. So I've chosen to use Dr. Rajni Patel as an example of this process. He's a member of the CAS Lab, and when he joined, he provided us with the information shown on this slide, a list of his various positions and appointments, and then a little brief blurb on his research interests. So from that, we can see we can form tags like robotics, the use of AI, specifically with the application in surgery and therapy for different disorders. But we want to go deeper and find more diverse points of connection between these professors. So we've also done a review of their recent research and publications. And for Dr. Patel, that was quite illuminating. It showed us that he's working on techniques to improve the training and evaluation of surgeons, and that his research is quite clinically focused. So we take all these tags based on their research and put it into the table shown on this slide. Institution, faculty, and department are all quite straightforward, and they're just useful for categorization. Type of research and methodology, for Dr. Patel, this is where we list clinical research, and we find interesting overlap, for example, with professors in social science, working in disability studies or psychology, who are also quite clinically focused. Focus and content is quite self-explanatory. We found some really cool overlap between Dr. Patel and other professors using machine learning and robotics as well. And outcome and research goals, where we've also found some really interesting connections. Dr. Patel, for example, his research really comes down to trying to improve processes in surgery and the ICU more broadly. And we found really interesting crossover with business profs who are working from a more logistical side at also improving the ICU. So we're still in the process of tagging and finding all these connections, but like I've said, we found some really interesting ones, and we're hoping to continue to find new cool points for research. And that's all. Thank you so much for watching.